The San Antonio Spurs are officially back in the playoffs, and the excitement is absolutely off the charts. We are diving into a deep recap of their incredible regular season that proved they are a legitimate title contender. From overcoming travel nightmares to a historic 11-game win streak, this team showed grit and fight at every turn. You do not want to miss how Victor Wembanyama and Stephon Castle propelled this squad to elite status.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to prop it up? Meet the Pop Sockets phone grip with expanding kickstand in black, your new must-have accessory. Don't miss out. Grab yours today. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Everyone is talking about how this 2026 roster stacks up against the legends of the past. We are breaking down the ultimate debate between the 2017 Spurs led by Kawhi Leonard and the current squad featuring stars like De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama. It is a fascinating clash of styles, eras, and pure talent that has fans everywhere divided on who would actually take the series. The legendary Gregg Popovich is back in the gym, and his impact on the team remains as powerful as ever. Even after stepping away from coaching, the Hall of Fame icon is mentoring young stars like Stephon Castle and keeping the team grounded as they enter the postseason. We are looking at the emotional connection he still shares with players like Keldon Johnson and the vital advice he just gave the squad for their playoff run. Drama is already brewing before the series even tips off as the Portland Trail Blazers confirm they are skipping their traditional playoff t-shirts this year. Fans are fired up on social media, especially while the Spurs are already celebrating their own playoff gear launch. We have all the details on this matchup and what to expect when Game 1 hits the court this Sunday. Make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. The Spurs are back. For the first time since 2019, San Antonio is officially playoff-bound, and with a showdown against the Trail Blazers just days away, it is time to wrap up our retrospective on one of the most unpredictable and exciting seasons in franchise history. We have already covered the early struggles and the mid-season sparks, but the real turning point, it wasn't a highlight reel dunk or a buzzer beater. It was a flight. On February 1, the Spurs were literally stranded, trapped in Charlotte by a snowstorm, only to face a terrifying emergency landing in Atlanta due to mechanical failure. Most teams would have folded under that kind of travel chaos. Instead, the Spurs walked off the plane and straight into the arena, gutting out a win against the Magic. That grit set the tone for an 11-game win streak that defined their February. They didn't just win. They became the first team to go undefeated in a month while putting up 110-plus points every single night. But the real arrival moment came against the Pistons. Throughout the season, critics kept chirping that this team couldn't handle physical play. Sweeping the Detroit series and silencing those doubters proved that this roster has grown teeth. And then there was the Clippers game. Down 25, exhausted. It didn't matter. The comeback rally, capped by Victor Wembanyama's late-game heroics, was so emotionally charged it left the young star in tears on the court. Watching them sweep the season series against Kawhi Leonard's Clippers felt like poetic justice, a sign that the dark cloud over the franchise has finally cleared, and the karma train is back on the tracks. From Stephon Castle's breakout triple-doubles to Wemby's ice-cold jumper against the Suns, the Spurs closed the season on an unreal 29-4 run. Sure, those late-season losses to Denver are a bit of a headache, especially given the potential second-round matchup, but let's look at the big picture. We expected a play-in scrap. We got a dominant second-seed juggernaut. The regular season was a masterclass in resilience, but the playoffs are a different animal entirely. If you have been enjoying this journey through the season, hit that like button and drop a comment below. What was the singular moment that convinced you this team was a legitimate title contender? The playoffs are right around the corner, and the real test starts Sunday. Stay tuned, because the road to the Larry O'Brien Trophy is only just beginning. Ever wondered what happens when the golden standard of the past collides with the unstoppable force of the future? Today, we are settling a debate that has been burning through Spurs Nation. The gritty, tactical brilliance of the 2017 squad versus the high-octane, alien-led dominance of the 2026 roster. First off, let's talk legacy. Winning 62 games is a Herculean feat in any era, and the Spurs have now hit that 60-win milestone 8 times. But here is the kicker. The 2026 team is the first to do it without a single member of the Big Four: Duncan, Robinson, Parker, or Ginobili. Instead, we have Victor Wembanyama, a player who feels less like an athlete and more like a glitch in the simulation. Now, context is everything. In 2017, the game was a different animal. The Spurs were firing off about 23 threes a game. Today, that number has ballooned to nearly 38. The pace is faster, the floor is more spaced, and the math has changed. That 2017 team was a masterclass in execution, anchored by a prime, MVP-caliber Kawhi Leonard and the reliable mid-range artistry of LaMarcus Aldridge. You had the veteran savvy of Gasol and the perimeter lockdown of Danny Green. It was a beautiful, balanced machine. But then you look at the 2026 roster, headlined by Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox. You have playmakers like Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper who just bring a level of speed and backcourt dynamism that the 2017 team simply wasn't built to contain. Imagine 2017 Tony Parker trying to stay in front of the sheer burst of modern guards. It would be a nightmare. And then there is the Wemby factor. If he looks like an alien today, he would have been an absolute destroyer in 2017. Back then, teams were still running traditional bigs like Zaza Pachulia. Wemby wouldn't just be the best player on the floor. He would be a one-man wrecking ball, shutting down the paint while stretching defenses out to the logo. As much as I respect the defensive prowess of Aldridge, there is just no blueprint for guarding a 74 unicorn who creates his own shot from deep. While the 2017 team had the heart and the high IQ system that defined an era, the raw talent, shooting, and athleticism of this 2026 squad feels like a mismatch. In a 7-game series, I'm putting my money on the future. I see the 2026 Spurs closing this out in 5 games. Do you agree, or does the discipline of the Kawhi-era Spurs win out in your eyes? Drop a comment below and let's get the debate going. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Spurs history, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more hoops breakdowns. After all, the past is history, but the future is being written right now. Who do you think is winning it all this year? Is Gregg Popovich a basketball coach, or is he a ghost haunting the corridors of the San Antonio Spurs practice facility? For months, sightings of the legendary El Jefe have been treated with the same skepticism as a Bigfoot encounter. But let me tell you, the legend is very much alive and well. After a health scare last year, Popovich stepped back, but he never truly left. I'm talking about a man who, despite his retirement, is still the gravitational pull at the center of the Spurs universe. Recently, he made a rare, calculated appearance to address the team ahead of their playoff run. Imagine the scene. De'Aaron Fox and the squad are gearing up for the postseason, and in walks the most decorated mind in the game. Popovich didn't come in to micromanage. He came to preach the gospel of the process. His message: don't change a thing. In a league obsessed with high-stakes adjustments, Pop told his team that consistency is their greatest weapon. And it's not just talk. Pop is a regular in the weight room 4 to 5 days a week. We're talking about a man who has built a culture so deep that legends like Tim Duncan are showing up daily just to support his rehabilitation. Not because they have to, but because the bond is that strong. Keldon Johnson says Pop hasn't skipped a beat. He's still texting, still calling, and still giving that brutally honest feedback that turned this roster into a contender. It's rare to see a mentor maintain this kind of influence without being the one calling the plays from the sidelines. But for the Spurs, it's just business as usual. It's a testament to the fact that when you build a family, you never really stop being the father of the franchise. What do you think? Does Pop's constant presence provide the stability needed for a title run, or does it cast too long a shadow over the new coaching staff? Drop a comment below and let's get into it. Don't forget to hit subscribe for more stories that go beyond the box score, because in the NBA, the most important work often happens in the shadows. If you are heading to the Moda Center this postseason, you might want to double-check your closet, because the Portland Trail Blazers just dropped a decision that has the fanbase buzzing for all the wrong reasons. In a surprising move, the team confirmed they will not be handing out those iconic, seat-covering playoff t-shirts for the first-round series against the San Antonio Spurs. It is a massive shift in tradition for a team making its first playoff appearance since 2021. Even during the pandemic era, when fans were scarce, the shirts were a staple of the atmosphere. When our own Guillermo Mata caught up with team president Dwayne Hankins, the answer was short and simple. Playoff, no, not this year. Naturally, the internet did what the internet does best, reacting with a mix of confusion and pure frustration. To make matters even more awkward, the Spurs immediately took to social media to show off their own playoff-ready gear, leaving Blazers fans feeling like they missed out on a piece of the playoff experience. But hold your frustration for a second. Blazers' alternate Governor Shield tile has hinted that there is a different surprise in the works to make up for the missing merch. Whether it lives up to the hype remains to be seen. What do you think, Blazers fans? Is a different surprise enough to make up for the loss of a classic tradition, or is this just a missed opportunity to paint the arena red and black? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button for all your latest playoff updates. And remember, sometimes the loudest statement isn't a shirt at all, but the roar of the crowd itself.